Welcome back to another episode of Spilling Tequila. I am your host, Ariana Cantor, and we're back. We back, baby. We're going to spill some more shit. Life has been good. No major updates yet. Yet. Wait for it. I feel like I have been sharing a lot of knowledge on here, my opinions and my knowledge, whether that's knowledgeable for people or not. It's mine and I own it. But I have not been sharing really the stories that helped me gain my opinions and my knowledge and make me the way that I am today, mainly throughout my 20s, like right before my 20s. The stories that really were horrific and stupid and made me want to be a smarter girly, so I didn't fall into the same mistakes. So I wanted to do a little storytelling today. Exciting, maybe. Exciting for you, terrifying for me. I have a lot of horrifying stories. I have a lot of great stories too. And honestly, I am the kind of person that will take the horrific story and love it because it's so funny to me. It's so funny that I was in this situation, how things panned out. Like, I don't look at the sad stuff and cry. I look at the sad stuff and laugh. I don't know if that's healthy or not. I think it's fucking healthy. And I survived. I lived to tell the story. That is one of my best mottos. The story that we're going to get into today is my first trip to Miami. So exciting, right? I am 19 years old. I just started dating this guy over the summer. It's now September. September is my birthday month. I literally scream that for the world to know. So if you know me, you know, September, Virgo. My best friend's really good friend was going to school at University of Miami. So me and my best friend thought, why don't we go to Miami for my birthday? And my best friend had already gone before. I had never gone. I really didn't travel much yet, which is pretty crazy because I feel like this trip was the one that set the tone for my 20s to travel as much as I have. But we decided to plan a trip to Miami. Now, with the guy that I started dating over the summer, we're going to call him my biggest lesson because we have more stories. So my biggest lesson, who I met over the summer, he was 9 years older than me. So I was 19, he was 28. And he had been to Miami with his friends many of times. So he had said to me, like, I want to come to Miami too. And I want to party with you guys. I mean, I was obsessed with this man. So I wanted him to come, and he had said to me like what worked out best with his work schedule and what made most sense was that I go down for 2 days. I go down on a Wednesday. I have 2 days with my friends. He flies down that Friday night, and then we all hang out together. And I don't know why at 19 I thought this would be a good idea. It should have definitely been just a girls' trip, but I was so obsessed with this man that I was like, okay, we can make all of this work. I don't know the last time I talked about this story. So talking about it, I'm just like, Ariana, you motherfucking idiot. So whatever, we decide on the plan, and I am just so excited to go to Miami for my 20th birthday. You couldn't tell me shit. I was acting brand new. And me and my best friend had a sleepover the night before our trip. We go to the airport. We take a little bit of anxiety medication to fly. And our stupid selves had some drinks too, which I don't recommend doing that. I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying what I did. So we're in this airport. We are all loose. We're tipsy. And we think we are hilarious. Honestly, we are hilarious. We're going to Miami, and The fact that we made it to Miami is truly impressive. We got to the airport early because we're young. We like have not flown a lot. The thought of going and like being able to use our fake IDs and get drinks in the airport was just so thrilling to us and so exciting. And I'm pretty sure our flight got delayed. So there was a bunch of people there. There was this older lady. I'm talking about like mid 50s, early 60s. And she looks so sad. And me and my friend, I'm 19, she's 20. We asked this lady, what's wrong? Because why wouldn't the two girls that are all loosened up and rowdy ask this lady what was wrong? She starts crying to us, saying that her son was at a music festival in Miami and took bad Molly, and that she was going to the hospital in Miami from Philadelphia to go make sure that he was okay. We fully took this woman under our wing. We were like, do you need a drink? Do you need this? Do you need a cigarette? Do you need a cigarette in the airport? And she says yes, she needs a cigarette in the airport. So my friend was smoking cigarettes at the time, and she takes the woman into a stall at the airport and smokes a cigarette with her. Now, I've told this story before and people do not believe me, but like I am telling the motherfucking truth that this happened. I don't know how we didn't get kicked out of this airport, because while we were drunk and all loosened up too, prior to meeting this woman, I had videos on my phone of us like laughing, saying there's a bomb in the airport. We should not have been allowed out of our motherfucking house. I don't understand it, but again, I've lived to tell the story. So we were comforting this girl. We finally board the flight. We get to Miami. So excited. This is like Miami is incredible. Miami is so much fun. I've been to Miami a lot of times now, so it's not new to me. It's still exciting, but not as exciting as my first time there. And it was even more exciting that we had a friend that was there who went to school there, because it's not like we just went into Miami Beach and like we're staying at a hotel. Like we got to go and have somewhat of like her college experience too, which was really exciting. So we go and we get to our friend's house, whatever. We have fun. The next day I don't even remember what we were doing, but we were hanging out in Miami. We were experiencing new things. So much fun. Although I have not heard from my biggest lesson, my boyfriend at the time, since we landed. So now we're going into the nighttime of our second night there, and I still have not heard from him. He was supposed to fly in the next day, and I was so excited for that. Like I was so excited to spend the trip with my friend, so excited for him, but also he was always up to no good. So like when you're dating someone and they're up to no good and you're intuitive, which females we are, you feel it. You feel that fucking intuition that there's something that's not going on. And honestly, it's just so disrespectful to be in a relationship with someone and do things behind their back that aren't right, because you're literally putting someone's mental health down the fucking drain. So I'm drinking. I'm trying to have fun. I'm definitely being so annoying to my friends, like so upset why he's not answering me. I remember I kept calling him at one point and he finally answered, and like I don't even know what he said, and like hung up. Whatever. I get wasted. I wake up the next day and still haven't heard from him. He's supposed to be getting on his flight. So I'm calling him. He's not answering. And he had a substance abuse problem. Like, who acts that way and who oversleeps and misses their flight for their girlfriend's birthday? He does. He did. So I'm calling him. No answer. I get a GoPuff sent to his apartment to ring the doorbell to wake his ass up. It wakes his roommate up, and his roommate gets it. And then I'm like, can you go and wake my biggest lesson up and make sure that he makes his flight? And he wakes my biggest lesson up. And my biggest lesson texts me, freaking out at me, goes back to sleep, and does not make his flight. At this point, I finally am like, fuck it. I'm in Miami. I'm with my like friends. Like, we are all hot as fuck. I'm about to turn 20, and this guy has already put me through hell in the few months that we've been dating. Why am I going to even put up with this? So my best friend was like, you know what, Ariana, let's just start taking shots of tequila. So we just started taking shots of tequila. It was Friday. We were going to a pool party, like University of Miami. Their casual Friday day is a pool party. So we're getting ready. We're dancing. We're having good girl time. We get to this pool party, and I feel like I unlocked a new version of myself. Like, I just didn't give a shit. This place was, for my first time experiencing a Miami pool party at 19 turning 20, I was in my motherfucking element. It would have been the perfect place to move on from my biggest lesson. But I did not make life that easy for myself. So we're at this pool party. We have so much fun. And this is a testament to like when you are relaxed, when your nervous system is relaxed, whoever you're having altercations with in a relationship, they then recognize what they did because the energy shifts. Like, my nervous system was not okay, and I was panicking, and I was anxious, and I was upset. And my biggest lesson, didn't give a shit. Slept right through his flight, did not contact me while I was in Miami. Like, I was in Miami worrying about him. And I guess that's what his plan was. So now that I'm at this pool party, living my best life, my phone is getting blown up. But my phone is like somewhere in the bushes. Like in Miami at the pool parties, University of Miami, you throw your phone in a bush. You hope no one goes to that section of the bush and find your phone, and you just go in the pool and you have fun. So my phone is getting blown the fuck up. He couldn't get another flight until the following day. So, which was Saturday. It so happened to be when the Pope was in Philadelphia, and there was like not many flights going out or something. I don't know. The airport was busy. He couldn't get a flight until the next day. So I am thriving in Miami. Then I'm getting blown up by my biggest lesson. I'm on one. Like, I energetically shifted to like the bad bitch that like I want it to be. So as he's blowing my phone up, I am unfortunately like loving it, because I just went from telling him, like, before we went to the pool party, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm done with you. Like, this is so much. And then next thing you know, once I'm done with him, he's blowing me up, giving me all the attention that I wanted before. And I'm excited. So he just books another flight, and he says he's coming down. And he had booked like a 5-star hotel, a suite in Miami for us to stay in once he got there. I'm 19, about to turn 20. I've never experienced anything like that before. So there was a piece of me that was so excited about that, which is also a shame. Like, I feel like in that relationship, there was never something that I could have just been excited for. Like, it always had to come at a price. Like, I was excited initially, and then I had to go through a whirlwind of emotions, and then I got that, which is just not nice. So I go out that night. He flies in the next day. He's like, let me Uber you to my hotel. All I know is that I go to his hotel. He wanted to have dinner, and then he wanted to go out to this party that my friend who lived in Miami, her friends were all going to. And he's like, I'll go to it. I'll buy a table. Mind you, like, these are kids that go to University of Miami, and then it's like my 28-year-old boyfriend. But I guess in Miami, if there's any place there's going to be like the age gap like that, Miami, there's a whole bunch of different ages. So I leave my friends and I go and meet him at the hotel. And I didn't bring all my stuff with me yet, but I knew we were going to dinner, so I was ready, and that we were going to meet my friends afterwards. And he takes me to Nobu, which was in the hotel that we were staying at. And I I never experienced anything like that. So I was just so fucking excited. And unfortunately, it was like everything that he had just did, I forgot about. He showed up with an iPad, champagne, and flowers. He bought me an iPad in the airport. Like, pretty sure like my phone was half broken at the time. Like, I did not need an iPad, but he was just trying to buy my love. And I was like, you absolutely fucking can. It's for sale. We did go to dinner. We did go out afterwards, and he did get a table, and like my friends did come and hang out with us, but the energy had completely shifted. Like, I just went through hell on this trip because of him, and so did my friends. Because your friends that are there for you, and like you're not having, it's my birthday trip, and like I'm not having a good time. I'm crying. They're dealing with it. They're trying to talk me off the ledge, trying to talk me through it. By the time he got there, everyone was like, fuck him. And I was just in my little like bubble of ignorance and toxicity going right back to him. So the trip was kind of ruined for me and my friends after it, after he showed up. And I allowed that to happen. And I wound up just staying with him the rest of the trip and not seeing my friends again. And that wasn't cool of me whatsoever. And it did get thrown back in my face because I did wind up fighting with him on the end of the trip. I also left the trip fighting with my best friend who I went on the trip with, the one who was lighting up cigs in the bathroom with the older lady who I adore. And it was just a mess. It was such a mess. And I'm sure there was so much more that happened. Like, so much more that happened. Like, when he got there, we did like jet skis and like all these exciting things. And he was taking me out to dinners and like buying tables. And like, I just really had never experienced anything like that. And I thought it was so cool that he was my boyfriend and he was doing those things. But I was also not respecting myself, not respecting my friend, and ignoring his bad behavior, which caused for me to have bad behavior. And I think that story being the first story that I shared of my biggest lesson, because we dated for years after this. Like, I wish it was like slowly after Miami we broke up. No, we spent my 21st birthday together. We dated for years, and we traveled a lot together, and there was a lot of lessons. That was just the beginning of our relationship. And one of the biggest signs that I should have ran. He also really didn't care that I was fighting with my friends. It was almost as if he wanted to take me away from them once he got on the trip, which is such a red flag. All of it was a fucking red flag. But again, I just turned 20, and I also didn't come from healthy relationships growing up. Not saying that always saves you from the lessons you have to learn. Everyone has to go through what they feel that they need to go through to learn it. Until they do, we can only listen to so much of what people say and want to hear it. At the end of the day, a lot of things we do want to experience on our own and learn the hard way. I think I'm more so able to take advice now because of how many times I've chose to learn the hard way, but I'm also very particular of who I choose to take advice from. Like, do I trust this person? Do I think this person wishes the best for me? Is there zero judgment? What has this person been through? How did they gain their perspective? There's a lot of things that factor into it. And I would say from that story that I just shared, the biggest lesson that looking back now I have learned is your friends want to see you happy. If you have the right friends in your life that care about you as friends should, your friends want to see you happy, and they want to see you happy with someone else, and they want to be a part of your life still while you're in a relationship with someone else. If your friend is showing up for you at your worst when you're crying and going through all these issues, your friend wants to be there at your best too. They're not putting up with all of that emotion and all of that bullshit for nothing. Like, they are putting up with that in hopes that they can help you get better. And that means you have to help yourself get better. Now, my friends come first. If I am in a relationship and I'm being taken away from my friends, or there is division between who I'm dating and my friendships, That's a fucking issue. That's such a red flag. Um, in a relationship, if it's bad, if things are really bad, especially from the beginning, they're not going to get better. They really aren't, because I stayed in that relationship for years and things got worse and worse and worse and worse. And if I would have listened to my friends in the beginning that could see things in a way that I couldn't, I would have avoided a lot of lessons. And I think there was a part of me that needed to learn those lessons on my own, but I did not need to stay in it for as long as I did. I also think a lot of girls can relate to this. Some of us are really still dealing with these type of relationships. I think when you haven't had a really good relationship, whether that's with yourself or another romantic partner, it's really easy to slip into a toxic relationship and a toxic pattern, because all you want is to feel some kind of love and nurture and mutual like bond with someone, but you don't know what's healthy and what's not, and you don't know how to really stay clear of the red flags. I stayed in that relationship for years, but then I also was single for years afterwards, rewriting the patterns, learning to love myself, learning all of these unhealthy ways of living that I thought that I normalized and created habits of in this relationship. It took years off my life to go back out into the wild and feel normal again. And if I can help anyone else break that cycle before it even begins, or get out of it a lot sooner, because we also stay in these relationships because we think there's not going to be anyone else. We think that's what love is. And in one way or another, you're going to be forced out of that relationship. And whether that's on your terms or someone else's terms, or from whatever happens that is its worst, it's harder to make the choice to leave, but it's harder to stay in it and have to leave because shit truly hit the fucking fan. So there's a hard choice being made regardless. Do you want the hard choice in the moment or the one that's harder in the long run? I think I give myself that ultimatum in life over and over again, because if there's something I've learned from all of my lessons, it's like the real hardship could have been avoided if I would have made the hard choice in the moment, instead of allowing bad habits and toxic patterns to continue to create harder moments in the long run. The relationship that I'm talking about with my biggest lesson, I was asking for the bare minimum of showing up to your flight, saying what you were going to do. You said you were going to take me, you were going to get a hotel in Miami and create a great time for me and my friends while I got to spend that with you. I was asking for the bare minimum of him just making me feel safe in what he said he was going to do and allowing me to be excited. And he couldn't even do that. So another thing that I realized is I wasn't asking for too much. I was just asking the wrong person. Everything that I wanted and expected out of a relationship, that at times I got the complete opposite, was not too much. It was the bare minimum. And I felt that if I adapted to his world and his way of thinking, his corrupt patterns, that I could make the relationship work. There is no making a relationship work when there is disrespect. When there is disrespect to your emotions, your feelings, your life, there's no returning from that. Someone does not disrespect you and then learn to respect you. It just doesn't happen. They disrespect you and then they figure out how to control you. And I think I'm going to talk about that more in another episode. I'm going to really get into the idea of you're not asking for too much. You're literally just asking the wrong person, because there's a lot I want to get into within it, but I don't want to make this episode too long. This was more so a storytelling of some of my trauma and what I've learned from it. So I feel like after that, I need to like take a deep breath, have a cup of tea, go on a walk. And that's not even the worst of the stories, too. So we're just starting to get into it. And it's ironic to think back 10 years ago, because that's when this happened. I'm 29 now. How much my life has changed since then. Your 20s are not the best years of your life. They are great. I love my 20s. I love all the experiences I had. But your 20s are the years you motherfucking get tested and you learn. You have so much to learn. I'll leave it at that. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give your thoughts, opinions, comments, concerns, any questions that you may have. And tune in next week for another episode of Spilling Tequila. I love you. Subscribe.